Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button, and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
Come on. Do it! Do it!
So after a few days of covering Moon Knight, I was in desperate need of a palate cleanse, and leave it up to legendary director David Cronenberg to give me something to get excited about again. Now, some would have you believe that directing is now a young man's game, but I believe the more old school directors are still the ones putting out the best content. They may get overshadowed by new and flashy shit or comic book movies, but it is important for everyone to know that there are still artists out there looking to create something other than a paycheck for themselves.
Goddamn right, that's the only way I work, Cap.
I'll get to the teaser in just 1 second, but the early buzz for this film is batshit fucking insane. I came across this article while doing research for this video, and it says an upcoming film from acclaimed director David Cronenberg and actor Viggo Mortensen is expected to see some mid-movie walkouts from moviegoers. I'm already intrigued. When is the last time you heard about any movie being jarring enough to inspire people to possibly want to get up and walk out of it?
What the hell am I looking at? When does this happen in the movie?
It's been a while, and that's because movies are so safe now. The only reason anyone would walk out of a movie today is because it probably sucks. Good question for the comments though, have you ever walked out of any movie in the theater? Now, we don't know what it is exactly about this new movie that could possibly inspire people to walk out, but if you are familiar with David Cronenberg, we could probably make some educated guesses as to what it might be.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
His new film, Crimes of the Future, is described as a sci-fi thriller set in the not-so-distant future where humans have evolved beyond their natural state. Sounds almost like a documentary if you ask me, considering most modern humans do live kind of unnatural lives in the digital world. Now, I don't know if that's a connection that he's actually going to make, but the best directors always know how to make their films relevant and topical without beating you over the head with it.
Message!
It's amazing how that concept feels so fresh in this age of heavy-handed messages. Insiders are also calling the film the director's most divisive and sultry film, and to expect walkouts in the last quarter of the film. Now, given Cronenberg's track record and the fact that he has mastered the body horror subgenre, it is possible that he's going to level up that concept with 2022 effects.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
And that's a very interesting thing to think about. Viggo Mortensen himself recently said in a 2021 interview that Cronenberg is basically going back to his roots. So it's very much possible that this film will have some kind of gross out factor to it, which I'm not always a fan of, but when those tactics do work, it's because a talented director is at the helm. So we'll have to wait and see how it all shakes out, but I am very intrigued, to say the least.
I like it a lot.
Also, a teaser trailer was recently released, and it would be very hard for me to give full commentary on it. It is just a teaser, and most of the imagery is really fucking weird. But I will say this, at the very least, it looks visually interesting and unsettling, which once again is very rare in modern cinema. There's this image of a pod of some sorts, basically operating on someone, or possibly making modifications to them in some way. There's one very distinctive image of a man having his mouth and eyes sewn shut, and just for added effect, he has ears coming out of the top of his head.
Well, I'd like to think that I have an eye for details.
I think it's safe to say that shit like this might be part of the reason why some modern audiences won't get on board with a movie like this. And I'm sure what's in the trailer is actually the least of which he is capable of doing in this film. Basically what I'm saying is the actual film will probably be even more crazy. And then we have Kristen Stewart, who is holding a contraption of some sorts to her eye. And let's just say she appears to be very aroused or stimulated.
Me so horny. Me love you long time.
Definitely a sexual or sultry, as the article put it, undertone happening here. And I think that's a good thing. Recently, Paul Verhoeven, the director of Total Recall and RoboCop, came out recently and spoke about how sex has kind of been removed from modern cinema. But I do feel like low-key it's making a comeback, so leave it to the old heads to give the people what they Surprise, surprise, the incel wants more sex in movies. Why do I always have to be the white knight who comes to these poor actors' defense? They do not exist to be eye candy for you. Besides, you know what's better than sex in movies? Easter eggs and references, of course. All hail Disney. Nobody cares about David Cronenberg anymore anyway. Just give us our superheroes. That's real cinema now. And if you don't agree with me, then you might be the next one to get cancelled. I love it when a trailer doesn't give away too much, because that is a real problem with modern trailers. And I do think it's time for people to start pushing the envelope once again in regards to cinema and what we can do with cinema, because once again content has just gotten too comfortable recently for my liking. And Cronenberg is the perfect person to push those boundaries, and that's why I'm very interested to see what all this is about when this movie is inevitably released. Always remember, we have to support original ideas, because that's the only way we're going to get more original ideas from Hollywood. So I wanted to make this video and talk about a movie that a lot of people aren't talking about, and maybe they should be. You have to start building the hype for these things now, because they don't have the hype machine behind them like some of the more mainstream movies do.
That makes sense.
So let me know what you thought about all this in the comments down below. As always, please like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you next time right here on Real Shift. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Y'all be cool. Right on.